Here's the thing. This is a new term and kind of a new era. And I'll say this about, first of all, I'll repeat it over and over again. This is the most important time of the NFL season. If you're a fan, if you're a face painter, this is when you really make your team. You can say all you want about in-season, postseason, all that stuff. I mean, this is it. This is when you make a roster. And so the NFL is in this new place. I think it's a new place. I don't ever remember, anyone using the ultra nerdy term bridge quarterback. That nobody even heard that term up until about a year and a half ago. But it's a new term and a new thing, and it's making for an interesting offseason because the sport is all about the quarterbacks. And now, in a weird way, we have this new model, this new mission statement. And it's like a weird select group of quarterbacks fit into what is now called a bridge quarterback. And it's not a bad idea. But who can make that work and who doesn't make that work is the million-dollar question in the offseason. And that by itself has become a story. So, as you knew it a year ago, the NFL and quarterbacks around the league on teams from a year ago, it's going to look completely different in 2025. And I think this is the new normal. And that is you have a quarterback that reaches a certain age, assuming they're pretty good, but they reach a certain age, they reach a certain salary level, and they're not quite finished, they're not quite washed up, but they're expensive, and you don't know yet if you really want them again. But then again, somebody else might want them for 2 or 3 years, and that's what has become. It's almost like this is the Indeed of the NFL. Like there's a whole category of job applicants that are gap quarterbacks, bridge quarterbacks. Hi, hire me for 2 or 3 years. I'll fix your place, and then you can go after that. That's the way it works. So the whole landscape is going to look completely different in 2025. There is the potential for pretty much of a sea change because of quarterback moves. So the list starts with a guy that's going to be worth a lot as a bridge quarterback, and then it's going to end with the biggest diva the sport has ever known, the tinfoil hat-wearing nutcase that is Aaron Rodgers. That's where it's going to end. But it's entirely possible all of these guys who've been posting jobs on LinkedIn are going to find themselves in a 2-year gig as a bridge quarterback. The names would include Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold, yes, Kirk Cousins, remember him? He should be everyone's idol. He keeps getting fired for $100 million. There's Russell Wilson, there's Justin Fields, there's Derek Carr, and then there is the diva, Aaron Rodgers, and then throw in 2 rookies, and that's your NFL of 2025. Everybody else has a job. Everybody else has a guy. But now what's going to happen with these guys? For example, the story that is out today, because it starts with Matthew Stafford, who is still a really, really good player. Why the Rams would let that guy walk is a mystery, but this is the world we live in now. So now the story is out that Tom Brady, the broadcaster who sucks, Tom Brady, the stiff guy who did every other commercial during the Super Bowl, the guy with a new face, that guy, who's pretty much running the Las Vegas Raiders. And he may be pretty good at it. The bar is pretty low for the Raiders. The owner's a doofus. But Tom Brady is, I like it. I like what he's thinking. Reportedly now, he's been talking to Matthew Stafford's agent. It might be possible that Tom Brady is the one that got his ear. Tom Brady is the one that at least has Matthew Stafford and his family interested in saying, you know what, that might not be so bad. That might work. Story goes, the Rams told Matthew Stafford's agent that they are free to talk to other teams about a potential trade, and it didn't take long for minority owner Tom Brady to take that opportunity. For the Raiders to acquire Stafford, they would need to come to an agreement with the Rams on trade compensation and would need Stafford to agree to play for the Raiders, which will likely he'll only do if they give him a contract that pays him more than $27 million he's supposed to make next year. That's the way this is going to work. So once he decides what he wants to do, then the rest start to fall in place. Okay? And it goes like this. The bridge quarterback, starting with Matthew Stafford, will say, I'll take that job or I won't take that job. I want to stay where I am, or they shove him out the door. He goes to a place, then the rest of them start coming after. Aaron Rodgers then is at the end of the group. He's like the last resume posted on Indeed. He's the last resume you would check out on Indeed, but then there might or there might not be a job left for him. Now, I don't know for my business if we want Aaron Rodgers to keep playing football or we don't. I can't quite figure it out because if he plays football, I don't know that it's going to be any good. Although I could see myself, if Matthew Stafford doesn't play for the Raiders, I could see quite possibly Aaron Rodgers doing it. So if Aaron Rodgers is not playing football and he's not playing very well, does that mean he's out there acting like a fool with a tinfoil hat? Yeah, probably. That's pretty good for my business. Or if he were to play next year, for my business, we either need him to play really well, which I'm not sure is possible anymore, or we need him to be a dumpster fire again and ruin an entire organization. That's how he's good for my business. So here's the way it's going to work. Matthew Stafford is either going to take a job elsewhere. The Rams are either going to be crazy enough to tell him go, or they're going to be sane enough to say, you know, man, why don't you stick around here? You've had a great run. I don't know that he's a Hall of Famer. I don't know. But he's still really good. And then he's going to make a move somewhere or stay. Whatever happens there, then you've got this list of players that would be Sam Darnold then has to find a job, or he stays with the Vikings if they don't keep him. I think that's crazy too. Then you've got Kirk Cousins, the man that just keeps making $100 million, and he's awful right now. Then you have Russell Wilson, who I don't know if he's any good or not. And then you have Derek Carr. I don't know if he's any good anymore. Then you have Justin Fields, and I'm pretty sure he's not any good anymore. Then you have Aaron Rodgers, and we have no idea how bad he is these days. So all of it is in this new space, this new job description, this new world of bridge quarterback. So whoever you're a fan of, you're going to have to start asking yourself, do we want to hire a guy for 2 years or take a shot at drafting a guy and hope it works out? Or stick with what you have. And a lot of these teams are willing to do the bridge quarterback thing. One of the stories that's also out today about Aaron Rodgers is that he could end up with either the Raiders or, start the list, the Rams. Okay, here's the list for Aaron Rodgers. The Rams, the Steelers, or the Cleveland Browns. If you enjoy making fun of Aaron Rodgers, and you should, we should all hope that he ends up with the Cleveland Browns, that he goes where everyone goes to die as a football player. He ends up pissed off, angry, sulking Aaron Rodgers in Cleveland. He will then throw the team under the bus, and he will throw the fans under the bus, and they will turn on him in a spectacular way. That's the one deal I hope does happen out of all of this. So there you go. Bridge quarterback. Remember it, learn it, because it's the new normal. Hey, Austin, Jeff Ward here, and I never thought I'd be in an accident and need a personal injury attorney. And then sure enough, less than a mile from my house, I was blindsided. I was injured. My world was turned completely upside down. I called DJC Law, and their team took care of everything. I got the best result possible. Don't just take my word for it. They have over 1,000 five-star reviews. So if you're injured, call 512-888-9999 and get your justice at teamjustice.com.